Welcome to The Passion Pod with your host, Chris Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation.
Welcome back, friends. Today we're doing an episode that we weren't expecting to do, but I was sitting while they were eating Taco Bell. I thought we were done interviewing for the day, but I guess not. Welcome to the show. Who are you?
My name is Danen Reed.
My name is Dillon Jordan.
Cool. And you guys are the other 2/3 of Charlotte Sands.
Yeah, we play in her band, also do different things for her project as well, which is fun.
Yeah.
Dillon does a bunch of visual stuff for her, and I do a lot of like music production stuff for her. And
Play
songwriting
guitar,
and
do
stuff.
some photos.
Yeah.
Headbang.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff. Cool. How was your first visit to Eau Claire? You told me off mic that you guys got to go downtown and see the whole little city.
I loved it, dude. It reminds me of my hometown. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, cool.
And it was like not too big, not too small. A lot of people around and stuff. Very friendly. I loved it.
Almost as cool as Nashville.
Oh, I think.
When did you move? So you guys you all live in Nashville as a unit. You all live in Nashville, but when did you each move to Nashville? Are you from Nashville?
So I moved to Nashville in 2015. I drove up 2 days after I graduated college and just 20 years old, just drove my Prius up with my drum set in the back of the car and a couple guitars and moved into a place for $200 a month. And yeah.
You found a place for $200 a month?
Yeah,
like a closet or what?
It was back then.
A basement.
Back then, you could get a house in Nashville for like $900,
Wow.
and it was just a bedroom in this house. Turns out the house was infested with. I do love cats, but this cat owner did not take care of his cats, and yeah, we found litter boxes in places there shouldn't have been litter boxes that were just overflowing, and it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we lived in the cat farm for a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
but I mean, 20 years old, you can deal that. Like, you can deal with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, I got the little thing from Walmart, like the carpet cleaner, and I was like doing the carpet cleaner in my room, and I would have my now wife but girlfriend at the time over, and we just like stay in there and like not go outside, But also $200 a month, you can't really.
Yeah, no, I mean, for real, to go to like the music capital of the world, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
And then, dude, to keep the dream alive, my best friend from Miami, which is where I grew up, he hit me up a couple months later, and he was like, dude, I got to get out of Miami. And he came up, and then we split the $200 a month, and he lived on an air mattress in my room. So we were just doing it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Were you just trying to do music full time by
yeah.
busking at that point, or like, because you can make $100 a month busking, right?
We were both busting tables at a restaurant, yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
then just like playing
That's
shows
the college
at night.
job, right?
Yeah,
You graduated from college to do that.
Yeah.
Sick.
Exactly, man. Yeah. And anyway, Dillon, you moved during COVID, right?
Yeah. So I grew up in Florida, Tallahassee. Was there through like 2019, 2020, I guess. Started to kind of get fed up with it and was doing music and stuff. Started to do like photography. And then just during COVID, my roommates and I were like, we need to get out of Florida. Like, why are we here? Let's go to Nashville. So we just got a U-Haul, got a little house. I brought a camera, a guitar, and an air mattress.
And it cost more than $900 for the house.
It was a little more than
Yeah.
900 at that point, yeah.
It had definitely exploded by that time.
But it was still great. Yeah, we were in a little house for a little bit, and it was amazing.
So tell me about the origins of Charlotte Sands. I know that's just like her name,
Yeah,
but as
for
far
sure.
as like you guys kind of coming together, I know you came after, but
Yeah, so
I'm the new boy.
I can give a little brief history. So, I mean, Charlotte, I'm sure she shared, but we met through just some mutual friends, and I got hired to play drums for her initially, and this was 2018, and she was doing a different project back then that didn't have anything released, but it was just like she was trying to get off the ground, and so it was like me and like a freaking her producer playing a show with her, and we played the show, and it was the worst thing that either of us had ever done in our lives. Like, the guy who was doing our in-ear mix screwed it up, so he sent like just her vocal to me, and then she had like the metronome and everything that I needed to play drums to, and so I was just like going off of the sound I was hearing coming off of the stage and stuff, and it was horrible. But then we became really good friends and started writing songs together, and then about maybe a year later, she started releasing some of the songs that we made, and then
was that underneath Charlotte Sands' name?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we started writing together, and she was like, I'm going to do like the Charlotte Sands project.
Okay.
And so the first song she released is Charlotte Sands, which I think is still up. That one I wasn't a part of, but everything from this one called Love You But on at those early stages, we were writing together just in like my little house in East Nashville, and started playing a bunch of shows together, and it was just super fun, just the two of us. And then we in 2020, obviously COVID hit. We had done her first headline show in Nashville and like sold it out, and it was super sick. And we were like, oh, we're going to shop this to labels, and she's going to go out and do the whole thing, and the career is going to start. And then COVID happened, and it was like, you can't play shows, you can't do anything, you can't travel. And so she just started like putting stuff up on the internet, and like every single month of 2020 she released a song, and just like was so consistent and worked so hard. And it paid off because I think in November of that year, one of the songs went viral on TikTok, which was a cool little moment. But then building off of that, as touring started opening up, we were able to do a lot of touring as that stuff started becoming available. So like we did Sad Summer Fest with All Time Low and the Maine, and that's where we met them. And then the Maine asked us to go on tour with them. And then a couple weeks later, we got offered for the Youngblood tour, and so we did that last year. And then when we were out on tour with the Maine, we needed a photographer, and that's when this lovely man came into the picture.
Yeah.
So you came in for photography, not for
Yeah,
playing the guitar?
did photos for about a month and a half. I had just met them through like friends of friends, really. And then did the main tour. After that, I think just like did Bonnaroo, did like a few one-off things. And then Danen kind of found out that I played music, and I was like, oh God.
Or you were hiding that fact.
I was hiding it, dude. I was, gotta be mysterious. And he was like, show me your old band. I go, oh no, absolutely not.
We spent a lot of nights on the tour that we were on together. We were still in like a 12-passenger van or whatever, and so he and me were doing a lot of the late night drives. And so we'd be up front with the stereo pushed all the way to the front, and I was showing him my old band, and I was like,
he's like, let me see yours. I was like,
yeah.
Heck no.
So that was how that kind of went.
And the next day in the band, he was like, and like plays my band. I'm like, found it, got it, pulled it up, and I was like, oh man. And then, we just talked about music and stuff. And then a bit after that, he was like, hey, what do you think about like playing guitar? And I was like, yeah. Went home, recorded a bunch of videos of like me playing the set. Just kind of going through, like I do video and like photos and stuff. So I made it all look pretty and just kind of sent them videos of me doing the set.
Yeah. So then
here I am.
The first tour that he did with us was Charlotte's first headline tour last fall. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we did the headline run, which was fun because up until that point, it had just been Charlotte singing and then me playing drums and then like tracks, which was super fun. It was a super easy setup, but it just like lacked a little bit of that like complete band togetherness, so we were able to put a 6 set together for the headline tour, and just super sick to have this guy.
Then I came
around.
And messed it up.
No, not at all, dude.
Is that when you dyed your hair was because of going on the
No,
first
it was in 2019. I was on a tour and my hair was just like dark brown with like a couple of highlights and like black, whatever, with like a couple of highlights. And the singer of the band I was out with was like, we should dye your hair. And I was like, it's going to cost like $300 and take 10 hours. I grew up just like having hairstylists be like, you can't touch your hair.
Yeah,
it's
too
so
dark.
thick. It's so dark, whatever. And I was like, there's no way. And this girl from Sweden was like, we could do it. We'll go to Sally's. It'll be $30. And I was like, how do you know how much all this stuff costs? Like, there's no way. We go to Sally's, $30. Fucking $27.90, whatever, and we dyed it like on the bus, and I was between green and red. Just like flipped a coin, picked red, and was like, yeah. And I've just been that way I'm scared to go back, honestly.
Yeah, that's fucking metal, dude.
I'm scared to do anything else really now.
I met him with red hair, and I immediately loved it in him.
I mean, I think it definitely fits. And
Yeah.
when you're like headbanging on
can't-
stage, it works for sure.
I can't
Especially
steer
with the
away from
blue
it.
and the red, and then I'm just like the normal one in the back. You know what I mean?
That's why you're hidden in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
looked.
No, exactly, man. I tried to go purple
think
at the
purple
headline
is-
tour,
I
but
think
my
purple was sick.
it was kind of cool.
I think that'd be cool.
It was kind of cool. I want to go
loved
like
it.
Trunks from Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
purple. You know what I mean?
Well, Trunks
But-
and Bulma, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Pastel
I
purple.
have to do like the complete bleach before I do that, but we'll see.
I believe in
Yeah.
you. I think
Yeah.
you can do it. So how has the writing of music and everything changed with you producing and everything else? Like, what are the roles right now with all the new stuff that's coming out?
Yeah, so Charlotte, we just had a song come out yesterday with this artist Knox that we all wrote together and I produced and stuff. And Charlotte's working on a lot of music right now. She spent a lot of time in LA this year writing and was working with a couple incredible producers and writers out there. So that's been really fun. And then we have a couple songs we've been working on that are going to come out. And yeah, it's a really collaborative process. One thing that was very really fun and exciting to learn when I first moved to Nashville was like how collaborative a lot of people are in this industry. You kind of grew up thinking everyone's on their own little island, and I used to be like, oh, if like someone is singing a song, that means that person wrote that song or whatever. Like obviously that's true in a lot of cases, but yeah, you kind of grow up and you realize like, oh, there are songwriters that maybe can't even sing that well, you know what I mean, but just can create beautiful lyrics or beautiful melodies in their head or whatever. And Charlotte just happens to be so talented at writing, and I always tell her like she's my favorite songwriter, so I feel privileged to have worked with her, and we keep making stuff together and keep loving the stuff we make, and as long as she wants to keep like making stuff together, I'm down. But yeah, all of us, like she writes for a bunch of other people. I just finished producing an album that is coming out soon, which I'm stoked about. And then
with other people, you mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So like we have publishing deals and stuff, and like write for other artists all the time. And like I just co-produced this album for this band Boys Like Girls, working on a bunch of other records right now and stuff. Yeah. And then Dillon does like so much cool visual stuff, and like has been with a bunch of other musical artists and stuff too. So
visual like covers and stuff, or are you talking about like the music video side, or are you talking about the visuals that are behind a band
more photos, more like I guess design work, a little
Cool.
bit like single covers, album covers, photo shoots,
like if you look at
content and stuff. I've done a few for Charlotte.
Yeah, like I'll show you.
So you're gonna incorporate my little dudes,
Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
please.
right? We're gonna make something cool together.
I'm gonna take so many dudes.
So like the last EP that Charlotte just put out, Dillon did that artwork there.
Oh, rad.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You took that photo and stuff too?
Yeah.
He took that photo,
Oh,
did
yeah.
all the edits on it and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, he's really talented, man. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Do you have like a little photo studio that you did that with the backdrop?
I do. So that was actually in Nashville at a place called 1087. But I was like a setup at my house and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We moved into a house that has like a basement.
Sure.
And I was like, I walked in, I was like, backdrops, photos, lights, and stuff. I was like, this is perfect. So I have a little bit of a home studio.
Sure.
So we've done a couple things over there, and
That's part of being in music nowadays, though, or anything creative. Is you just kind of have to do a lot of things. Otherwise, if you don't, you can't afford it because everyone's too expensive
cool,
and it doesn't
yeah.
turn out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
You kind of have to learn everything.
Dude, that's exactly how I started producing. I was like writing songs and like just it wasn't sounding the way that I wanted it to, so I just got Logic Pro and started doing stuff, and then you're like, oh, but someone will mix it, and then you send it to someone to mix, and then
like, oh no,
and then it comes back bad, and you're like, oh, now I've got to figure out how to do this too,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
I saw, dude, I would see so many bands with like goofy album covers and photos, and I was like, I could do this, maybe.
You're so right, man. Especially when you are a creative person too. It's like there's kind of an itch that you're like, oh, but I want to see this all the way through, and I want to take this to the best that it could possibly be.
Yeah. Well, and the second part, that's where it is with me. Is like I work so hard on something.
Yeah.
If I then outsource something to somebody else, and it's not to the quality of everything I worked so hard for, I feel like it diminishes what I've worked so hard for.
And then you don't even want to put your name on it.
It's like, no, if I put this much energy into it, I just have to see it through. So talking about that, I've been learning a lot of new stuff. Like recently just learned some random tricks on Premiere Pro that I can't believe I didn't know.
Oh, awesome,
That changes the game for my editing process. Hell yeah. What about you? What's something new that you learned recently or something that you're currently trying to learn?
I just mixed my first time. I've done a lot of production for other people.
Yeah.
I've never mixed a project for someone that I didn't produce, and my friend Aaron Gillespie from this band Under Oath produced this great artist named Lauren Hibbard, and he asked me to mix it, and so he sent it to me, and it was just it was a cool exercise to not have had the first part of what we're talking about, where it's like I didn't have ownership over this until it's coming to me at a second point. And I think I kind of felt the pressure of what you're talking about. It's like, now I'm the guy that's getting sent this. And so now, like, I'm going to almost hold myself to a higher standard because I don't want you guys to feel the way that I've felt so many
Right.
times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can picture them being in that seat, and
Yeah.
you're like, I can't mess this up for you. I
For
can't mess this up
sure.
for you.
Yeah, especially when you're like friends and stuff. It's like you just
you know
want,
how hard they work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, with anything, it's you find people that you can trust and can have good creative conversations with, and can kind of dig for what the vision truly is and what they truly want out of it, and try to figure that out and figure out how to make it the best it can be collaboratively. But yeah, for me, I think just kind of taking communication is the biggest thing always, right? Where it's like, when you say you want it like this, what does that actually mean? Or when you say you want it to sound like this or look like this, what does that actually mean? Are you talking about the feeling that evokes for you?
Right.
Or do you mean, no, I actually want it to look like this,
Right.
Or is it just like the essence of that?
Yeah, but it's hard to communicate that.
Exactly.
A lot of people aren't good at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
The
don't
other
think-
side of the communication is being good at understanding if
For
you
sure.
can see somebody
Yeah.
that's not what you mean, and then being able to have those follow-up questions to figure
Exactly.
that out.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like learning how to create those questions and learning how to execute a vision. I think create and execute a vision is an ever changing process, but it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Charlotte
Yeah.
grows as an artist, there's only
Yeah.
more pressure to be awesome at what you do,
For
because
sure.
it's getting
Yeah.
in front of more and more people, and her career is ready to just explode, and you want to be a part of it. You can't hold her back. You got to do your best because she's doing her best.
We talk about that all the time. Especially last year, we were talking about this a lot because we both have a lot of friends who, you see people that are so talented all the time, and especially in a creative industry, it becomes very clear as you start, not that we're anywhere, but like as you start kind of climbing those few rungs on the ladder, you do see like, everyone always says like talent only gets you so far.
Yeah.
And it becomes true. It's like, I feel like a lot of the success that I've had, if any, is like just because I'm willing to sit in a room on my computer for more hours than my friend who's more talented than me is willing to sit at his computer. You know what I mean? And like, that's a silly way to put it. And I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but it's just
I
like,
agree.
I don't know. I'm just going to sit here until 4 a.m. until this sounds the way I want it to.
I've seen it many times where the people that succeed are the ones that just keep going and going and going and going and going. Because most people, they get to a point, there's always going to be times where things pop up and seem to work almost too easy.
Yeah.
And there's going to be times where things come where it shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah.
And then you start questioning yourself, like, am I just not good? Is that why this is too difficult? It comes so easy for everybody else, and then people give up. And the truth is, it probably didn't come that easy for everybody else. They made it look easy because that's the only part you saw.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't easy, and they just kept going. But everybody that I know that has worked, consistently on something for a long time is somewhere. Anybody that I ask them, like, well, why did you never get to this place? They haven't been doing photography for 20 years and not accomplished anything.
Yeah,
it's because they gave up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you keep going, you'll get there. Well,
For sure.
I know All Time Low's on. I know that you guys want to see him.
all good.
And I know I want to see him because
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.